Hey guys, how you doing today? I was taking down all of my Hoyas and getting them watered and doing cleanup, taking off dead leaves, looking for bugs, that kind of thing, the stuff you do. And I figured that why I had all of them down and taking them in and watering them thoroughly, um, I would show you my Hoya collection. So I don't really have a lot. I have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. I have eight different Hoyas. This one is the Billavata, and I really like this one. I actually found this one at Lowe's, and I've had her like, I don't know, a couple months, I guess. But the leaves were smaller. They've really gotten elongated, and I love how the back side of them is like a lime green, and it's really soft. She's soft like little bunny rabbit ears or something. Velvety. It's kind of velvety. But this is the Billavata, and she has grown a lot for me. All this is new growth. The leaves have gotten longer, the ones that were originally on. I have taken quite a few cuttings off of this plant and give it to people, and she's still got a lot on her, a lot. But I really like those. So I just watered her. I took her down, watered her, inspected her. Um, all of my Hoyas get very bright light. They're either in a southern or western window. That's really all the windows I have in my house is southern and western. So, I mean, I do have trees that block both of those exposures. So I don't get really bright, intense light. But so far, all of my Hoyas seem to be doing really well for me. Um, so that's that one. And I am going to show you my next one. By the way, I am watering them all and cleaning them all up as I bring them to you, show them to you. So that is my Billavata. Be right back. Alright, this one is my Kentiana. She is a very pretty little plant. I do not remember where I got her from. Possibly eBay. But I really like this plant. I love the long, skinny leaves, and the edges are darker. If you, the more you keep them in the sun, the darker they get. Right now they're kind of like a black or a purple color, but I've got her hanging in my south window up on top of a curtain rod, and she really seems to like it there. She has grown for me. Um, I have a lot of new growth on her, and as you can see right here, she's getting even more. So, um, all of my Hoyas are in a very barky mixture um, because I am an overwaterer. I have soil, perlite, and bark in all of my Hoya mixes, pretty much like my philodendron mix, but uh, a little more bark. I've been putting in a little more bark into the all of my Hoyas as I'm repotting them. I haven't repotted all of them. I think I still have just a couple that are um, older and need to be repotted. But this is my Cantiana. Very, very pretty little Hoya. Alright, this one here is a cutting that I got from Alicia over at Alicia's Plants. And I do not know the name of this one, and Alicia wasn't sure either. But this was a cutting that I got like maybe a couple months ago, and she has rooted in well. And all of this from here, oh, from here all the way down is all new growth. So I'm very happy with this little Hoya. She's got like a lot of veining on her leaves. But if anybody knows the name of this, let me know, please. I think she is really cute, and she's growing well for me, so you can't ask for much more than that, because I am an overwaterer, so. And once again, she is in very barky soil mixture. This one here is a Hoya Elisa. I'm not super positive about it, but from what I have had a couple people tell me and what I've looked up, she is the Hoya Elisa. This is another cutting that Alicia from over at Alicia's Plants sent me, and she has done very well. She is rooted now, and her new growth is these two leaves. All the rest of them were on there when I got them. I do have her in a western window. I think she needs a little more light than because of all the variegation. So I got her in a pretty good spot where she gets window light and she gets hit by my grow light. So, and that leaf down here is new too. Oh, that one right there is new. Very pretty. I've got her right now in a pretty heavy soil because I was trying to root her. So I've just been very, very sparingly watering her. But when she gets repotted, she will get put into the exact same mixture as my other Hoyas. Very airy, very barky. They are epiphytes, so they don't like a whole lot of water. Very pretty. Alright, this one here is a Hoya tricolor. This is actually a plant that I won. I think right at the beginning of summer, if I remember correctly. And I also I won this from Alicia over at Alicia's Plants. And this is a Hoya tricolor Crimson Queen, I believe, is the name for her. Is Hoya tricolor Crimson Queen. Got dirt on her. But this was already a rooted plant when I got her, and you can see some of the pink on her, but if you look on the back, sorry guys, she is very pink. I love this little plant. Now this one, I have her in all bark. See that all white leaf right there? It's pretty cool. I'm dripping everywhere. I'm glad I grabbed a towel. But she really is a pretty little plant. I love her. I love the colors in her, and she really likes the bark, and I think possibly I may go over to all bark, or at least the majority of bark for for the majority of my Hoyas. I take care of these and grow these just like I would my orchids. So she goes in and gets a nice soak in a bowl of water uh, about once a week. And it just depends on the weather. Now, if we get a little cooler later in the winter, um, I'll just have to see how it goes. But look at this leaf; it's all white. Now, am I supposed to cut that off, you guys? You Hoya heads. But anyway, she is very, very pretty. I really, really like her. The Hoya Tricolor Crimson Queen, I believe. Crimson Queen. Because she's got the... Linda taught me that the Queen Hoyas has the edging around the edge. The white edging around the edge. That makes sense. Like a crown. And then if it's not, if it's a princess, they have the white coloration in the middle. So there she is, Hoya Crimson Cream Tricolor. She has grown very well for me. She's grown a lot since Alicia has sent her to me. Um, I planted her over into bark right away. I don't know if you guys can see. She's bark. I do have perlite in there with her too. Look at all of her roots. Little tiny roots. But she is a very pretty little plant. I really, really like her. Very cute. Okay guys, this is another Hoya that I have. This was actually a cutting that my mom gave me. You see how she has a... Let's dry her off a little bit. Maybe you'll be able to see. But this one has little speckles and it's really a wide leaf. I do not know the name of this one. This is the cutting that I got off my mom. I originally had the plant many, many years ago. We lived out here for 15 years. And we lived in the farmhouse for 15 years. So this has got to be cuttings from at least a 20-year-old plant. I had it. Well, the lady I took care of I used to do home health care, and she had this plant, and she knew I loved plants, and she had a garden, and she had this plant, and I asked her for a cutting, and she gave it to me. And then I grew it for many years, and it's bloomed. It has beautiful little burgundy type color blooms. And so if that helps anybody, because like I said, I do not know the name of this plant, but I know that it has burgundy blooms. And, well, actually they're like a salmon color, and then the dark burgundy is in the middle of the flower. Very beautiful smelling. But when I moved, I gave the plant to my mom, and she's got it now. And it's huge. And I asked her for a couple of cuttings off of it. And she gave me 3 cuttings, and they have all just taken off. This is all new. Some of this is new. She's got more new leaves popping up. Little aerial roots everywhere. But it won't be long, and I think I'm going to go ahead and try to stake her up eventually. But a very pretty little Hoya. If anybody knows the name of this, please let me know. Very wide leafed, speckles, like a silvery speckle. But so this is actually off a plant that I don't even know how old Dorothy's plant was but it was large. It was a very large plant. So this is off of a pretty old original plant, and I would love to know the name of it. And she is just so, so pretty. And she gets even more pretty. When she starts filling out, she is going to be gorgeous. But, alright, I think I have I think I have two more Hoyas left, guys. Okay, guys, this is my Hoya Crimson Princess. Um, she is very, very beautiful. I've had her practically all summer. I actually found this plant at my local Lowe's, and I believe she was about um, between $15 and $20, I guess. I don't really remember. I've had her for a while. But I love her. She is very, very pretty. Um, she does have the red stem, like the tricolor, and she has put on a lot of new growth. As you can see, this stem has been growing up my shelf and around another plant, and I had to uncurl her before I took her out of her pot to give her a good water and a good cleanup. She definitely needs to be repotted. I am going to have to repot her. Um, but she is growing really well for me, so I don't think I'm going to mess with her yet. Um, I will probably repot her in the spring. As you can see, she's very beautiful and full and long. Um, I really, really like her. She's put out a lot of new growth, and I actually have taken quite a few cuttings off of this plant. My mom and dad were just here, and I gave her about 3 cuttings of this plant, along with a few more cuttings from some Hoyas. She really likes Hoyas, so she's totally into them. But this plant has put on a lot of new growth for me. And I wanted to say that I feed all of my Hoyas worm castings once a month. Um, so that is what food that they get. This one is an all soil with perlite, and I take her down and give her a thorough watering once a month, if not longer. But it just depends. With getting into the cooler months, I'll have to see. I don't know. I haven't had this plant through the winter, so I have no clue. But she is in a very bright west window. Um, she gets worm castings once a month, along with that's what I feed my plants: worm castings, a little bit of fish food, fish fertilizer, and that's what all my plants get. But she is doing really well for me, and I really love her. I think she is just absolutely gorgeous. Look at that all white leaf. That is gorgeous. I like these leaves down in here. But uh, yeah, I really, really, really like this plant. Now I've got I've got one more Hoya to show you guys, and then I think, did I get them all? Yep. So I got one more Hoya I want to show you guys, and then I have one lipstick plant, and I am going to go ahead and include her in this at the end because she has the exact same care, the exact same highlighting, the exact watering, the exact food, and I only have one, so I figured I would go ahead and include her in the end so you guys can see my one and only lipstick plant. and they take the exact same care. So really neat little plants. I really like the Hoyas. Back when I first started growing Hoyas, God, 20 some years ago, um, you did not see Hoyas like this. The Hoyas that I seen were um, just like the regular green, like the one that I've got, and then there was a couple other ones. And my rope Hoya, I used to have a rope Hoya, and that thing was humongous. It almost touched the floor, but it got attacked by mealybugs, and I couldn't get them under control. So I swore never again for the Hoya rope one because it's too hard to take care of with all the creases and crevices. And I think you actually, if you go back way, way, I tried to, I'm going to try to find a picture again. I looked earlier, but that rope Hoya I had for, I don't know, maybe 4 years, and it was humongous. It was long, it was crazy. I took a lot of cuttings off of it because my mom wanted it, and I think my brother took a cutting off of her before, but um, that's why I don't understand why everybody says that's such a slow growing Hoya. Mine grew like crazy, but um, I don't know. But alright, let me show you my last Hoya. Alright, this is my Hoya. I don't know how people say it. I hear some people say Curtsii. That's how I've always said it. And then I've heard people say Curtisi. So I have no idea. But whatever the name, it doesn't matter to me, to be totally honest. But this is a beautiful, beautiful plant. I just recently repotted her. I did not take her out of her hanger. I just took her down because this plant is a nightmare if you get it tangled up, kind of like the string of hearts. So I'm not taking her all out. Usually I water her just as she's hanging. I usually don't take her down. I just repotted her. So I've got her in. This plant I have found needs a little more often watering than my other Hoyas. She has very thin leaves. She's got very, very thin, tiny, itty bitty roots, which most of the Hoyas do. But this one is like crazy little. And if you can see, this Hoya Curtsii is a climber. She has roots coming out of everywhere. And this is the cutest little plant. I really, really like the colors on her. She's very, very pretty, very dainty. A lot like the string of heart plant. And I've been doing an experiment with this plant for the last couple of months. And she has done really well. I did just recently repot this plant. And like I said, I have her in less bark than the rest of my orchids because, I mean, excuse me, not orchids. Oh, uh, Hoyas, because she does seem to need a little more water, and I also missed her a lot. Her leaves get dried up really quickly um, if you don't put a little more water to her. Now, I don't soak the whole, she is on terracotta, and, oh, there's the leaves I missed. She is on terracotta, um, but I was not comfortable keeping her in a plastic pot, knowing that she did need that little bit more moisture in her pot, and she seems to like humidity too, so that's why I missed her. I probably missed her once a day. I mean, it don't have to be, and you don't even have to probably, but I don't know. It's just what I do. Um, but this is a very, very pretty little plant. I really like her. This is another one that I got so lucky with and found her at Lowe's. Now, I did split this plant up. I gave Linda from Linda Sue Plants for You, I gave her a hunk of it. I gave a hunk to uh, my mom because she really wanted a piece of this plant. And then I gave some cuttings to some other people. So, I mean, she has taken, this was a larger plant, but, you know, I mean, how big of a plant do I need? She's still very, very large. And I love sharing plants, so. But I want to show you guys what the experiment that I done a couple months ago. Some of you might remember. Okay, guys. This is the piece of the Hoya curtsii that I mounted on the wood. This is a piece of non-treated cedar. They're cedar shingles, actually. They're non-treated. We cut it up the side, and then I drew a hole in it, and then I mounted a few cuttings of this plant on this wood, and I'm thinking I did this in June or July. I really don't remember when, but she's doing pretty good. Um, Her roots are not attaching to the board yet, but she does have roots popping out under the speg. And I got speg here also. But I'm not seeing, even after 2 months, I'm not seeing her grab onto that board. So, but I mean, she looks okay. She gets dehydrated easily. Um, I mist her and water her at the same time when I do my orchids. And she actually gets misted a little more, along with a couple more of my dendrobiums that I have mounted on wood. But I think that if and when she takes off, she will look really cute, like just hanging down off this board. But, alright, so that is my curtsii, I don't know how to say it, but whatever. Beautiful, beautiful little plant. She does get some yellowing leaves. She just seems to be a lot fussier than any of the other Hoyas. But so far I'm doing okay with her, so. And I hope I keep it up because she is a very, very pretty little dainty plant and I love her. Alright, I'm going to get my lipstick plant and show you guys my lipstick plant for the very last one. I think I got them all. And she's actually in flower, so hold on. Okay guys, this is my Black Pagoda lipstick plant. I really, really, really love this plant. She is gorgeous. Look at the back of them leaves. Aren't they pretty? I mean, they are just so pretty. This plant is gorgeous. The front of the leaves are pretty. The back of the leaves are gorgeous. The veining in them just really, really stand out. Again, I did not take her off of the hanger because I don't want to break it. So you will have to kind of look at her through the hanger. But she is flowering. Oh, criminy. This is actually kind of funny because Linda and I were talking on the phone the other day, and she says, hey, my black pagoda lipstick plant is blooming. And I was like, no kidding. Oh, I was so happy. She sent me pictures and I'm looking at them and I thought, well, I wonder if mine's blooming. And sure enough, it is. I never even noticed. These are, see, you guys ain't going to be able to see. But that is a bloom right there. And there was a couple old ones that I left on. I just gotta find it. And she's got all kinds of new growth popping up out of the middle again. This plant is kind of crazy. Oh, well, there's one of the old ones. It just kind of fell off, but kind of neat looking. Well, when it ain't dead, but I've got there's one that hasn't opened yet. Let's see, can I get this? Come on, cooperate. Right there. But oh boy, I gotta put her down before I drop her. But yep, this is my black pagoda lipstick plant. I got her in the summer when it was very, very hot, and she did not get to me looking very good. She was very droopy. It took her a very, I kept her right out on my front porch. I have like a northwest exposure out of my front porch. And, kept an eye on her, kept her in the heat. And she finally started straightening up. Her leaves started looking better. And now she's got all this new growth everywhere. She's gotten longer. She's gotten fuller. She's got more new growth popping out of the top of her. But I just think that this plant is gorgeous. I mean, you can't get no better than that coloration on the back. I mean, it is just beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. And look at that. The front and the back. Isn't that gorgeous? But I give her the same treatment. She is potted in a very, very airy soil, very high light. I've got her actually in a south window, and she gets the same kind of watering routine. This one is usually once every couple of weeks. But very, very seldom. They just take the exact same care as the Hoyas. So, but this is the only lipstick plant that I have. I just really like this plant. I love the black pagoda. I think it's gorgeous. But she was a little tricky in the beginning, but I think she's gonna be okay now. And now that she's flowering and budding, see right there's another one. She's got two. See right there? Right where my thumb is, right here. There's another flower right there. I mean, they're not really nothing to speak of, but it's great. Like Linda and I were talking, even though they're not a lot to look at least if they're flowering, you know they're happy, and hopefully you're doing all the right things for them. So, okay guys, well I am going to say goodbye and let you go. This is going to be another really long video, but you guys have a great week, and I will talk to you later. Bye. Peace.